Navy SEAL and UDT. First of all, who are they? A lot of them saw in the movie or in a media channel. What do they do? What kind of people can join? What are the requirements?
Navy SEAL is a very secret organization, even inside the Navy. I've seen a couple of SEALs in my life, but I actually never worked with them. A lot of people in Korea know Egan Dewi.
Yeah.
I know he's very popular because he went to Navy SEAL training and he graduated, which is very impressive. Navy SEAL is a very special combat organization that does a lot of secretive missions. And what I know is it's really hard to be one of them because of physical training that you have to go through. In order to be SEAL, you have to go to something we call BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL. It is a 6 months course, and one of the weeks is called Hell Week, where you can't sleep for a week, but you still have to go through a bunch of physical challenges. I actually met a lot of BUDS drop. We called people who didn't make the BUDS training. You have to take some physical tests. Once you pass that basic physical test, which is not like what I mentioned before about the standard Navy PT test, it's a lot higher than that. Certain yards of swimming, and you do push-ups and sit-ups, 1.5 mile run. But considering that you do push-up and sit-up right after swimming, that's very hard. Like once you swim a certain amount of time and then you start doing push-up and sit-ups and you have to do run in a certain amount of time, that's very challenging. And you have to pass that test. I think it's called PST. I don't know what it stands for. And once you pass that basic screening, you're now accepted as a BUDS candidate. And I think during boot camp, they teach you the basic skill set that you can survive in BUDS. But they also kind of like train you a little bit to prepare for BUDS. There are a lot of obstacle course, brutal people over there, instructors over there. They're very tough, and which is why that BUDS training is very notorious. It's less than 10% passing rate
Oh my gosh.
to pass it. And once you pass BUDS, you still have to go to dive school and other combat-related schools. Like if you want to be a sniper, then you have to go to sniper school. One of the courses, army parachute training or something like that. That's another 18 months. So total training is about 2 years long. Once you finish 2 years of training, that's when you become SEAL. And people can still be dropped from the trainings that I mentioned after BUDS. So it's a long process, and it's really hard to be a SEAL. When I was in OCS, one of my guys, he was a prior SEAL as enlisted, but he wanted to be a pilot, which is officer. And I talked to him for a bit about the SEAL training, but these people are very humble. They don't really brag about their training. 10% rate is not just the number. That when you survive from that training, I can tell that you're somewhat over average about everything, not just the physical, like mentally, they're very special. I really give my respect for them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Same here as well. I got a lot of respect to them. While you're in the service in the Navy, do you have any time you can apply for SEALs?
Final requirement to be a SEAL is before E5. I might be wrong, but you can also Google that in the Navy website. But yes, if you want to be a SEAL, even when you're on a certain command, you can apply for SEAL.
Okay.
Again, the physical requirements are not going to change, and you have to be very fit to meet the physical requirements. They expect a lot from officers, mainly because officers are the people in the front and taking charge. When you go to BUDS and see those videos, there you will notice a lot that your officer must be in charge of this just amount of enlisted people. But every single person is very important, but they're the people who lead the sailors, and if they don't lead it right, you can't let them killed.
So change the topic. Start with people who wants to go. What are the checklists they have to prepare? to join the Navy?
For enlisted portion, you have to be at least permanent resident. You definitely need to go to recruiting office to get some paperwork done. And choosing job is very different. If you're not a citizen, some sort of limitation, any intel or weapon systems, that jobs are like requiring a secret clearance. So obviously you have to be a U.S. citizen to be one of those. General engineering jobs are not requiring citizenship. Officer, you have to be a U.S. citizen. There are a lot of routes that you can be an officer. The three major are Naval Academy, ROTC, OCS. There are another two routes that you can be an officer from enlisted side. SCA 21, we call Seaman to Admiral, LDO and CWO. I'm sure Army has that too. Those two sources are, you can be an officer from the enlisted side. And the three other that I mentioned is just the three primary officers force that anybody can apply. If you're a U.S. citizen and you meet the other academic requirements.
From your experience, right, what are the things that they're going to face when they join Navy?
Again, the Navy jobs are very technical and obviously require a lot of academic portion. We have a lot of communities. We have a surface community, which is basically just the ships, destroyer, cruiser, carrier. Those ships are all a surface community. These communities that include both enlisted and officer. That's the surface warfare portion. The other portion we call aviation. We have more airplanes and Air Force. I heard the Army has more ships than the Navy's. I'm not sure if that's true. The other part is the submarines. We also have a supply corps and the intel. Those are the main communities we have. And under that section, there's a lot of jobs for surface, bosun's mate, which basically working for deck portion of the deck part of the ship. Some aviation, obviously we have mechanics. A lot of submarines are very smart because they have to do Excel on ASVAB, and only the smart people can. Submarine portion, which is just like nuclear portion. So that requires a lot of studying. Even when you join the Navy and you're going through your job school, they require a lot of studying. Supply Corps, it's pretty much like financial. If you have a business degree, it will be more beneficial for you to go to supplies. The challenges, I would say, is just a lot of academic. They're very demanding, to be honest. Like even outside the Navy, once you finish certain jobs in the Navy, now you earn some sort of skill set that you can use outside. So, for example, like nuclear portion, you deal with a lot of nuclear stuff in submarine carrier. Outside of Navy, you can go to a lot of places like nuclear power plants. Those jobs are very demanding. You make a lot of money. Also, like weapon system, you can also go government contractors. That Navy has a lot of contractors, and those contractors are actually pretty big, and they do love to take folks from Navy. Aviation, same thing. Once you know about the aviation mechanic and stuff, and you can obviously go follow that route too. If you're trying to go an officer, Navy also look at STEM degree, we call like a science, mathematics. If you have that type of degrees, you have more advantage to get selected, because Navy cares a lot about technical. Like again, technical is the key for the Navy.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Not only is it beneficial in the military, even if you get out of service, because you all have the experience with the technical background, you're going to be very marketable out there, and easy to get a job as well, right? So both beneficial, both different spectrum. That's good to know. That's awesome. One of the viewers asked me questions about being in Korean Army and in the military service. How is the culture? Everything is pretty much fair overall.
I think the hardest moments was not being able to see my family, especially when I went to sea. This is just rumor that I heard before I joined the Navy. It's like when you go to ship, they have a Wi-Fi service. You can always talk to your family, whatever. but that is not true. Maybe some brand new ships have Wi-Fi service, but a lot of naval ships are not capable of Wi-Fi service, so they do have internet. So if you can get on the computers in the ship, you can use internet if you want, but
Mm.
they're not obviously fast enough to do like Zoom or FaceTime, whatever you call. So it's hard to see your family when you go out at sea. That was one of my hardest moments. I love Korean food.
Mm.
I love kimchi. I can't live without kimchi. But obviously, when you're on a ship, you can't really have a choice of what you want to eat. Some people, before on the way, they load their lockers with a bunch of snacks and food. But if you go out to sea for months, then obviously those food will run out, and you will eventually have to lean on what the food that they provide from galleys. So it was kind of tough for me to just eat American food for months. One of the first things that always did right after on the way was I always went to Korean restaurant, and just I just had a bunch of Korean food in my mouth, and that was one of the joys that I had when I was on a ship. So I decided to get out of the Navy, stay in the reserve for 2 years, and then I decided to join back as a civil engineer officer, which is the green side of Navy.
Mm.
The green side of Navy is a little different. The blue side of Navy, obviously, you do a lot of stuff at sea, and you'll be on a ship a lot. So obviously, Navy understand how the challenges that you face. So they pay them pretty good. Money wise, you get paid more if you're on the ship. But the green side of Navy, you
Mm.
pay less. Kind of like Army or Marine. They when you go to like deployment and stuff, they put you in the flight. You go out there. You go out to the deployment site and you do your thing, but you have all the access to internet and um, all the good entertainment stuff that you can think of. Obviously, there's some limitation. You're deployed to work. You're not deployed to some random countries just for vacation. So your primary purpose being there is just to work off working hours. You can still enjoy whatever you want to do for your personal entertainment. Ships are a little different because obviously if you're on the ship, even if it's off working hours, you still send watch. I mean, you can't really go anywhere unless you can swim back to land. So you're on the ship just whole time, and it's pretty interesting to do barbecue right outside a flight deck. Depends on the ship, obviously, but my ship it was a quarter-sized football stadium, large enough to hold like 200 people to barbecue and
Wow.
to boost morale of sailors and officers out there at sea. But it wasn't for me. So I decided to get out and I joined to the green side of Navy.
Thank you for sharing your insights, man. That's great, good information. I may be wrong because I've never been there, right? But one thing I heard about it was that is that officer dining in versus enlisted side of dining in, right? I heard it's just totally segregated. Is that true?
Yes, it is. It is separated. So
Okay.
officer side we call wardroom, and then enlisted side is called galley. Foods are not different; they're the same.
Mm.
Just because you're an officer, that doesn't mean you get special food. We get same food on a ship, but officer wardrooms are usually located nearby where officers live,
Mm.
and enlist galleys are they're located like a center of the ship where they can make a large space, and that's where a galley is located.
What are the most very high demanding job right now in Navy?
A lot of technical jobs are very demanding because of the skill set that you earned. You can use it outside of Navy. For example, like radar, missiles, nuclear.
Mm.
But if you really want to stay in the Navy for a while, I'm talking about like 20 years down the road,
Yeah.
uh, that the jobs that really don't go to underway a lot. Like short management, admin, medical, those jobs are usually they stay in the short side, and a lot of people like to go those areas because not many people like going to underway, mainly because family, and it's tough. It's tough life being out there and sea.
As far as the Navy, when you guys say deploy, right? Deployment, how does it look like?
Blue side of Navy, um, their deployments like 7 or 8 months. So let's say I was in San Diego and I'm trying to go to our deployment. It's I don't know, maybe somewhere in Middle East, right?
Mhm.
Let's say that's your destination. That's your deployment site. Then blue side of Navy, you actually go there with a ship. So your ship will actually, you guys will drive that ship to that Middle East, whatever the Middle East site that you were assigned to. Then you go there, constantly working. You get paid a lot, like a lot. So monetary benefits for blue side of Navy deployment based on the years that you station with that ship, you get pay, sea pay. You can also get family separation. You can also get tax exemption. You actually make a lot of money from deployment. You also have to sacrifice your family time and personal entertainment. Like you
Yeah.
can't really go out anywhere. So that's pretty big deal for everyone, to be honest. If you're on the green side of Navy, deployment's about 6 months long. Navy will put you in a flight and you go to the deployment site, and depends on where you're going, you get per diem. It's like a little extra money for accommodation, food. Depending on where you're going, you may or may not get tax exemption and no sea pay. So you get less money if you're on the green side of Navy, but you get to enjoy off working hours. You can also talk to your family after work. Green side of Navy is very competitive, and they're very small, like compared to blue side of Navy. I mean, if you just think about just the Navy in general, like you can think of ships, which is true. Blue side of Navy's, I would say about 80%. Green side of Navy, I would say about less than 10%. It's a very small community. The blue side of Navy that also includes aviation, nuclear portion, rest of portions just like medical or supply, small communities like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that's a lot of explanation you did. That's awesome. I want to know about your military, your side of the goal. What is your goal for your personal?
When I first joined the Navy, I didn't know much about it. That I knew was I was able to travel a lot, which I did. I did travel a lot from the Navy,
Mhm.
and I got to see a lot of people, and I experienced a lot of different stuff, like various cultural. And then I got out because I knew, well, when I was there for 4 years, I knew that um, down the roads, I really want to do what I like to do, which was engineering pretty much. I studied engineering in college, and I wanted to stay in that career path. And my first job in the Navy wasn't really related to engineering.
Mm.
So I got out of Navy and I finished my college, and uh, I went to Army Corps of Engineers as a mechanical engineer, and um, I wanted to stay in the Navy because the amount of time that I spent, and um, I really wanted to be part of the green side of the Navy. Luckily, I got selected. Now I am with Seabees, and um, my goal for now is trying to stay as long as I can, and probably retire here, make 20 and retire. My job is very interesting, like project estimating, uh, material coordinations, and a lot of the contract stuff, which is not really like combat related. This is kind of actually more like what I really want to do in the future. And Navy's providing it, and I got the chance to enjoy it. So my goal right now is down to 20, at least 20. I will do. I'll stay in the Navy until I retire, and then recently I got a small goal as to be a Navy recruiter. I like to introduce people about the Navy. Not many people know about what we do. Like for the people who really want to be like officers, especially, like I would like to share my personal experience, and I want them to feel what I had. That's the goal that I have.
I'm sure you can do it, and I love your goal. I think that's very motivating. Thank you for sharing your goal, and also I'm sure you can do 20 years and more. I could already see that. So one last thing I have for you, Ensign Park, is any last words for the viewers? Any advice, anything that you want to say to the viewers out there?
I really hope that this interview helps a lot. If you have any questions about Navy, please leave comments below, and I'll answer. And Major Park is a great guy. I've known him for several years, and I really support his YouTube channel. So please click subscribe. And you get a lot of information from him. So thanks for having me, and yeah,
Okay.
that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you. And once again, Ensign Park, thank you for your time. Thank you. I think it was great interview sessions. I appreciate your time, and thank you for your service. For the viewers out there, please leave comments if you have any questions about Navy. Ensign Park has very good insights about Navy, how his Navy is like. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave comments. And also, please subscribe our video as well.